This is a formidable opponent for Brad Attitude.
But this man's agility, if you somehow have been living underneath a rock and don't pick up social media at all, then you wouldn't know. But if you're a part of the other that follows independent wrestling all over social media, you will notice that this man can do absolutely anything.
It is truly impressive what Sidney Akeem is capable of.
He has springs in his toes, shocks in his calves, and he can jump as high as he wants to, and everybody thought.
This man is almost like a piano player in a piano bar. You could call out any single move, and he could do it.
But can he tonight defeat the one-star in Brad Attitude?
The longest reigning,
longest defending,
sometimes scrupulously,
the half a star Brad Attitude.
1 star for half. He is our champion and has been.
You started that crap about 4 or 5 months ago. No.
James, we all work under the AML Wrestling umbrella, and he is the AML Wrestling champion.
I'm underneath the ring.
Brad has a thing with a fan.
Every show.
Every show he decides to tear aside. And it's usually that same fan, so thank you for joining us month in and month out there, young fella.
But ever so cocky, ever so arrogant and confident is the champ in Brad Attitude with that custom-made AML Heavyweight Championship. Can Brad Attitude defeat Sidney Akeem?
Listen to the fans.
They know who this man is. Is it me or are those braids thinning? Just me. Just me.
Petty much, James.
I mean, they are. They're a little thin on top now, Brad. It's all right. They got commercials for that. But nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, big fight feel in your main event, Throwdown in Tatertown. The AML Wrestling Heavyweight Champion, the one-star Brad Attitude versus Sidney Akeem. The bell has sound. Main event time. Let's get it going.
Oh, Brad doing some holes.
Title so gorgeous, even the police got to pick it up and take a look at it.
It's that hot. It's that hot, it's got to be stolen.
Y'all can't take that to the station, though. I'm sorry. Nice little feeling out process. What I'm excited to see is the counter, I guess, balance of the speed of Sidney Akeem versus what Brad Attitude brings to the table. And the overall size difference.
You know, we've seen Brad go against some other types of high flyers, right? But
correct.
But probably the one that's most notable is Nick Nemeth.
Ooh.
But it was, dare I say, easy for Brad to counter Nick Nemeth because they both have the exact same style.
Great since 08.
They've known each other forever. So this is I'll say probably an undetermined way for Brad to be able to try to counter Sidney Akeem. Oh, Kip up with like zero effort.
Zero effort. So nice he had to do it twice. Right back to the head goes Sidney Akeem. Let him know you can knock me down and not take me out. Then a shoulder tackle of his own.
Sidney Akeem's going to run Brad ragged.
Yes, he is.
What the
hell I just see? Nice mule kick up into the kick up. This is that speed I was talking about. Beautiful arm drag.
Wow.
You got to remember, the same teachers that Brad had back in the day are now were the same ones that were teaching Sidney Akeem.
Man, the athleticism, the speed, the agility. I don't think we've seen anything like Sidney Akeem before.
My man countered a leapfrog with a kip up, with a midair kip up.
Using Brad's hand to clap.
Let's see Brad sweat a little bit. Easy on the hair, says Dalen.
Oh, right hand in the midsection.
That's smart, though. Get him breathing kind of heavier. If you can't breathe, you can't fly. Nice chop to the lower midsection, lower chest. And a club straight to the back goes the champion.
Brad taking every advantage possible and trying to use it.
He's gonna have to against Akeem. Such a big fight feel here in the main event right now. Nice duck and a miss into a corkscrew spinning crossbody. That's what I'm talking about. That is what I'm talking about. If you're not on social media and been living under a rock, prepare to be amazed.
God, I hope we live long enough to see Sidney Akeem versus Diego Hill.
Trying to fly through, but gets caught with a forearm from the 1 star. He's already flipped and he's already flipped twice. Brother did it so fast. My God. It's like a Sugar Ray Leonard hook or like combination, but into a crossbody. Just so quick, you get hit 3 times, didn't even know it.
Sidney Akeem is something to behold, ladies and gentlemen. Wow.
Did you feel the air get sucked out of the room from the fans when they gasped? Now club to the back goes Sidney.
Sidney Akeem's got to use all those high-flying moves. He's at a little bit of a size disadvantage with Brad.
Nice basement drop.
Oh, boy.
What goes up? Look at the speed.
Like a bullet shot out of a gun.
Absolutely. The explosiveness of Sidney Akeem on that suicide dive.
Brad down on the outside. Sidney Akeem's got to get him back in the ring. You can't win the title on the floor. Oh, Sidney talking a little trash.
That reminded me of like a dolphin going through the air. My God. I've honestly never witnessed so much explosion ever.
European uppercut. Now clubbing blows to the back.
What do you think is going through the mind of the champion right now?
Sidney Akeem about 5 minutes ago.
Now that's a camera shot.
Brad taking a seat in the front row.
Shh, 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 shh. Everybody quiet.
Sidney Akeem said that one hurt him. Can only imagine what it did to the champ.
If you guys like video games, Sidney reminds me of a Tekken character. Like seriously, he could just fly and do whatever. But now he's on the top rope. Oh. Right on the back of his neck.
Brad straight to the cover, smart.
But that's what the champion needed right there.
Catches breath. Because Sidney's been taking it to him very quickly for the last few minutes.
I was actually nervous to think about what Sidney Akeem was going to do from that height.
Smart by Brad.
This is his wheelhouse. This is when he starts batting 1,000, using that weight and that height advantage, but Sidney is starting to work his way back up, but the hair pull by Brad Attitude. This is when he starts batting 1,000.
You could be bald and Brad would find a way to pull your hair.
Yeah, he will. He's going to find a way to cheat. He's going to find a loophole. He'd be a hell of a lawyer. Dalen on the call for this main event matchup. Going for Starstruck, no, into the snapmare.
Brad never ceases to amaze me with the condescending stuff that he decides to do.
Wow.
A rolling chin lock.
Wow.
Well done, Brad. Wow.
A quarter roll into a headlock. Wow.
Brad just always just
amazes us, right?
He's just got to give something to the fans every single time, and he knows the fans were expecting him to do something spectacular, so he turns it into a rolling headlock.
Whip off goes the champ.
Duck under.
Through. It tried to go for it twice. Gets caught midair with the boot hook of the leg.
Smart move by the champ.
2 3/4. We almost was gonna have another month leading into WrestleCade with Brad Attitude as champ.
Brad pulling him over to the bottom rope.
Now he's gonna show a little bit of his agility, vintage.
Leg hooked. 2 count only. Body scissors now by Brad.
Like I said, his wheelhouse, using that weight advantage that he has, and just overall probably strength advantage too, goes the champ, just trying to restrict the breathing. Guys, you need to be able to breathe to move this fast. If you cannot catch your breath, it's over for Akeem. Nice back elbow to the top of the skull. Into a second one to break the hold. Now Sidney Akeem needs to start making up some momentum here.
Kick to the midsection. Follows it up with a strike.
And a chop.
Oh, God.
That little... A little bit of space is all the champ needed. Nice suplex.
Sidney Akeem out at 2. Brad back to that mat work now, like you said, James, right in his wheelhouse, slowing everything down.
He's just taking everything that you can give him. If I slam you here and then I can grab your arm, well, I'm going to start working your arm. If I land you here and then you're going to give me this, then I'm going to take this. Doesn't matter. Brad's going to find a way.
Sidney tried to fight back with an elbow, but Brad come with a clubbing blow to the back.
Sidney Akeem needs to make some space and use his speed and agility the best way that he can. Nice kick into a super. This is exactly what he needed. Going to the top rope. What's Sidney Akeem going to be doing from here? Huge moonsault.
The height.
New champ.
Brad out. Sidney didn't hook the leg.
Yeah, correct.
Allowed Brad to come out the back door. Again, not being critical of Sidney Akeem, but in the thick of battle, right? Just made that one small mistake.
Sidney Akeem took the first flight out of Charlotte Airport right onto the canvas. Now trying to fire up, create some momentum, and get the champion reeling on his feet again. Nice right hand with a block. Sidney Akeem trying to keep battling back. Nice tornado kick.
Woo! Looking to get the fans behind him. Going up.
Look at just the easiness, the way he climbs up the ropes.
And that one misstep, though, James, opened the door for Brad.
Same thing happened we seen with Rhett Titus earlier in the night. Those ropes get slippery. Pushing the champ off. Will there be water in the pool? Fly to the deep end. Cross body.
Hooked the leg that time, and Brad's still out of the back door.
What a frog splash cross body. Just the way that he can manipulate his body in the middle of the air is just absolutely amazing.
Brad on Dream Street.
High risk, high reward. This is what you have to do against the champ.
Right hand by the champ. Right hand by Sidney. They trade him back and forth now.
All you got from both men. Huge right hand by the champ. Nice overhand by Sidney Akeem. That backed him up. That stunned him. That gave him the space. Overhand after overhand. Nicely done by the champ. Spin around, flatliner. Will that be all? Is the championship going home?
Woo. Wow. What does the champ have to do to put Sidney Akeem away? Brad trying to catch his breath, giving Sidney a few minutes to catch his. Brad just shoving him away with his foot. Rights and lefts to the midsection. Brad with that back suplex into the cover. Leg hooked. 2 count.
Just the wherewithal. But look at Brad. Look at Brad. That's what we talked about. He understood that that probably was not going to get the job done. So the frustration in his face is just like, okay, let's keep adding on to it. Let's just keep adding insult to injury over and over again until you stay down. Going for the starstruck cutter. Push off goes Akeem. Final act cutter!
Unbelievable.
New champ! New champ!
Foot on the ropes. Great ring awareness by the champ.
Damn!
Sidney Akeem with 14 flips and a cutter.
The final act cutter has got it all done before.
And it would have been done had Brad not been that close to the ropes. James Sidney had him.
That's just that overall ring awareness. Nice shotgun over the throat. Flip through. Into the code breaker goes the champ. Pulling out all the stops.
Sidney out. Woo! Action hot and heavy.
Mike, I said I wouldn't lose my voice, but I don't think that's going to be the case.
Brad arguing with referee Dalen.
Yeah, after that one, you could start to see the frustration set in.
Is the champ making his way to the top?
We've seen an elbow before. Nice step up, Enzi.
The height.
The extension, man.
Unbelievable. I'm telling you, Sidney Akeem has brought his A game today.
Absolutely. Oh, my God. Spanish fly!
Took a page out of the champ's book.
New champ! Oh, my God! Oh, my God! He kicked out from a heartbeat. That's what he did.
Fireman's carry.
You piece of trash. Brad attitude pulling the referee, but back elbow goes Akeem. Last ditch effort. Starstruck. Holy shit.
Wow.
Oh my God.
The champion catches Starstruck out of absolutely nowhere. 1, 2, 3. Wow. What a title defense by the champ.
Oh my God.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been AML Wrestling presents Throwdown in Tatertown. Catch us next month. Check our socials. For OMG James Ryan, I'm Mike Calandro. We'll see you on the other side.